suppliers that we do business that file it, we can do a crossover with application security. Then we all take our part to talking. Even that they cannot be so-called coming for physically here, like one in US, right? So, but they can be remotely coming live. Right? So, quick one. So, okay. So, from the application security, we don't talk everything today because based on the supplier that we're talking, then no one really can do everything. So we were talking only two main domain here. One is so-called, I call it application security testing. So application security testing, we depend on the approaches and the real scenario you want to do. Definitely, you are doing it either in the dynamic application security testing, DAST, or static, maybe more source code, or we do interactive application security testing. This part here, IAST, today two supplier will talk. One is Parasoft. Parasoft is talk more on the IoT testing. This is the mega trend for those sensor IoT. End-to-end compressed testing. Well, the Acunetix in the last slot, their product is the native dynamic application security testing, but it do come with the feature for doing as the IAST as well in the .NET and PSP. But this is more on the code level, so it won't conflict between that two because the Parasoft is doing IoT. Because today our topic talk about application security testing. So how good you know how to upsell, cross-sell, all those things in one way or another, it depends on whether you understanding how the real life, whether government or corporate, they are doing for this security. As when we call it application security process is take place. It is business improve what need to be done, like we want to create e-stock, all those thinking. So the starting on the design phase, then with development, then we testing, then we need to integrate into, let's say, like the front or the web application with other fresh animation or e-store or with the payment card gateway, all those thinking, integration. Then afterward, we need to validate whether the whole thing we're talking about here, end-to-end, is working, is final, they mean, or sometimes they have a key. So everyone now aware that IoT, the sensor, all those thinking, it will outtake the mobile and PC, all those thinking, at least 20 times more. So in that scenario, of course, we need a new way of testing them. We cannot still treat them like the traditional way. So you notice that the cloud computing, they have a cloud computing way of testing. We have embedded security. Nowadays we talk about the car can be self-navigation. It is embedded the security inside already, right? How could we know it is no one can hack in to take control those thinking, right? So that people talk about it. Best way to do is basically we can see about two metrics. I call it product and market metrics. New product, existing market, new market. You will definitely have someone you do business with right now. Right? This is existing product for your existing market. The best way to do is actually here. That from your existing customer offering new product as part of upsells. I call it up because it's here is upsells, or you cross over is cross-selling. Why? Because they know you. Secondly, less risky, and these two quarters. This is the fastest. They are maintaining people there, but they are no good in those things. So, Vincent, can you here to help us to do technology update sections with the end customer? We have customer, but we don't know how to talk. Leverage right? We then, on their behalf, we present the topic. Then advising the end customer, oh, do like this. Who are we using? Create a conversation. Then they say, oh, we need this also. Then you'll start doing the paperwork, doing the proposal, doing the spec. If not, tender won't come out. Those things are done before that. A lot of people don't realize, they thought simply come. They have something is being done before that. Budget need to file. Spec, they need to test it out somehow. They know how to do those things, right? So leverage is one way you can leverage for our resources, because it's very common. Even from same for the two reseller, one reseller have eSpin sit together. Let's say same customer, one way out. They make a big impact. We just update you as part of the customer, so you knowing it, so you are better understanding the technology. Then we can see how to consult the unit much more better. Then people will find that, oh, I need a renewal, and I need to renew it for multiple years from now, because we found it that you are really taking the system that we're buying for our thing. It is always the package bundle is possible, right? Instead of just sell licensing thing, right? Customers say you are just another Apple. It's Apple, and Apple is just another vendor trying to treat it. We buy from a cheaper pricing, right? So there's no value. Next year renewal, we continue to press them for pricing. Because no value, press them. Further press, subsequent renewal, press further, because they have no value. Then the end customer, the user, we also say, yeah, actually for me, this in different A, B, C, D, E. So each one the document you also I'm fine, because all of vendors truly do what?
Okay, great. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. It's late in the evening here. I'm based out of Boston, and I apologize. I'm going through a cold, so if I start coughing a little, I have to take a pause to drink a glass of water. That is why. So I'm going to go through my presentation, just give you a quick introduction of who I am and who our company is, how we work together with eSpin, and then give you a quick overview about security innovation, who we are, and what our products are, and then give you just the landscape of our partner program, how it could benefit you as a reseller to work with eSpin and with us in selling our solutions. So my name is Tony Lutza. I'm the VP of Global Channels at Security Innovation. The role is to manage all of our channel partners worldwide, from North America to Europe, Asia Pacific, and that's everything from distributors like eSpin to sellers to system integrators to partners, service providers around the globe. I started at Security Innovation 4 years ago, and primarily my main focus in the beginning was international, and recently I took over the role as VP of Channels Worldwide. This is just a quick timeline or overview of our company. Security Innovation was founded as a consultancy back in 2002. We started from the Florida Institute of Technology. The founder of the company was a professor there, and the Florida Institute of Technology was the only university that gave a degree in application security at the time. So at the beginning, what we were doing is we started as a small service consultancy company, and we did services like penetration testing, vulnerability assessments, code reviews, those kinds of services. As we were doing a lot of these service engagements to different customers, we started growing more and more. And at the beginning, we began our company by doing a lot of instructor-led or face-to-face training. One of our largest clients was Microsoft. Microsoft had asked Security Innovation to create all of the training for their developers for the software development lifecycle. And as we started growing, and as the Microsoft account started growing, they were to retrain a large group of their employees or their developers. And so we began creating a lot of computer-based training to reach all of those developers. And that's how we really evolved from the small company that was doing service consultancy to instructor-led training to eventually creating a whole course catalog of online content to be able to train their developers to write code securely. So we had a lot of different milestones throughout the years in terms of acquiring some companies in different fields like embedded security, for example, or encryption, some strategic partnerships with PCI, and that got us in the door of creating security awareness for PCI compliance or payment card industry compliance, to then also working with acquiring a company called Splay, which creates a lot of the content, or created a lot of the content that we've today around security awareness that I'll talk about in a little bit. So I like to think of our company in our mission or our goal is to resolve the most difficult problems within insecure applications. We do this through this e-learning training solution that we have. We have over 15 years of research on threats and vulnerabilities. We've done a lot of methodologies for some of the large technology companies like SAP, Symantec, Microsoft, McAfee. We are authors of 18 books within our company, or employees within our companies, to them that we co-authored with Microsoft. We have many patents regarding a lot of the encryption standards that are out there. And we also, for the third year in a row, the awareness program had been in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, in the leader quadrant. So we're very proud of that. That gives us a lot of credibility in the marketplace, and it gives a lot of exposure to folks who really want to understand more about security awareness. On the right, you'll see some of our global customers that we've worked with, specifically on application security and security awareness. So you can see we do have quite an impressive list of customers that we've worked with. So we kind of look at our e-learning programs as a pyramid. And all of our e-learning programs are subscription-based software as a service type programs. So if you look at the bottom of that pyramid, you see just security awareness, and that's the broadest of the training. So that training is targeting all your employees within a company. So if you want to teach everybody in the company on topics like email security, password security, phishing awareness, you'll have a much broader reach of folks. And training itself is not as technical, but it's more about just training all the staff of becoming aware of security issues and trying to protect assets in the company by training your employees. If you move up the pyramid towards the middle part, our biggest strength is our application security training. We have two core solutions in that area. One is called Team Professor, and I'll talk a little bit more in details about these two solutions. But Team Professor is basically all of our courses that are computer-based training, focusing on developers to write secure coding. And we have different goals and curriculums that you can assemble depending on the kind of programming language your developer develops in, or if a kind of role that he has in an organization. So if that person's a QA tester, or if that person is more of a project manager, we have different curriculums that talk to those different roles. Alongside with Team Professor, we also have a knowledge base called Team Mentor, which has over 2,000 articles. It's pretty much, we kind of call it as a knowledge base or on-the-job guidance for developers. So as they're writing code and they run into vulnerabilities or issues that they have to fix, they use Team Mentor on the spot to try to get those remediation or that guidance to fix those codes, vulnerabilities as quickly as possible. On the pyramid, we have what's called command and control hackathons. We did a hackathon earlier this year in Kuala Lumpur with eSpin. Was successful, and basically what the hackathon is a game version of instructor-led training. So there are actual websites that we've created with many vulnerabilities. It's a contest for participants to try to find vulnerabilities within these websites we've created. So those vulnerabilities have different values, and then it's a competition who can find the most vulnerabilities in those websites. Along with the game that's going on during a hackathon, there's also teaching moments or instructor-led training on application security training. So it's a great way for corporations to be able to train their developers in a fun and interactive way. And so first, with the general security awareness. As I mentioned, the target audience is really covering just any employee or every employee in an organization. There's 10 modules or 10 topics in our general security awareness. There's malware, PCI compliance, password security, email security, mobile security, phishing awareness, traffic security, physical security, social engineering, and data privacy. Data privacy is our security awareness 365 program. Basically, when a customer buys our general security awareness training, they get all those modules, and within each of those modules, they get their own set of articles, tip sheets, and infographics. So these articles basically are articles that, if you're an administrator of the security awareness in a company, you can use articles as an enhancement to the training. Same with the tip sheets. Tip sheets, typically you can print them out, have them at your desk, and it kind of gives you a good summary of what that module's about. And then infographics are these kind of high-impact posters that you can hang throughout the office. So what really unique about this program is, not only are you giving folks the ability to learn about security awareness in front of their computer, but there's also some teaching moments outside to reinforce the materials. Typically, the way company structures their security awareness program is they won't try to have their employees learn all of the modules all at once. So they may take one module like email security, and they say, okay, in January, we're going to focus on email security. And during the month of January, they may issue some articles, they may send it via email, some tip sheets that they can print out, and then create, those infographics in different areas around the office. So that's really a whole program that you can launch and you can roll out year long, so that they really get the most out of the training. And all of this comes included a package when somebody buys our security awareness training program. So they get the actual training modules as well as these communication supplemental materials as well. It's all customizable. So we give the customer a source file, and then they go ahead and they can put their logos on those articles. They can put their own security policies if they want. They can put links to resources internally that they may have that they want their employees to access. So it's a really enhanced security awareness training program. It's not just, sitting in front of the computer and taking all the trainings all at once. As I mentioned, the deployment scenarios it's really up to the organization and what best fits them. So if they want to just meet a compliance requirement and they want to get it done as quickly as possible, they can do them all at once. They can roll it out on a monthly basis, so they can say, this month we're going to focus on 1 or 2 topics, and then the next 2 topics the following month, and so on. Or if they want to do it as a quarterly rollout, they do it on a quarterly basis, get 2 topics, and then launch the whole program throughout the year. And these are all the different languages we have currently translated in: English, Spanish, French, Arabic, simplified Chinese, Italian, German, Australian. We we did a project for Australia, so it's an Australian accent and Vietnamese awareness solution. Now I'm going to kind of shift over to application security training, and this is more advanced, more technical training. It's hands-on training. We have online or we have instructor-led, and we have two kind of versions of it. The first one, the lightning courses, are more introductory level application security training. So if you're a beginner developer or you want to train an IT group, these again are a little more technical than the general security awareness, but not as technical as the team professor. And as you can bundle the courses by the role a person has, so if they're a manager, architect, developer, or QA tester, or by the platform that they're working on. So if they're mobile or a database or embedded, and then by the technology or the programming languages that they might be working on. So we have about over 150 courses, I believe now, in our catalog. And then within those, you can create different bundles for your users. We have what's called a belt program, and you can kind of think of it as kind of like a karate belt program. And this is just to get users motivated to do and complete the training. So you can kind of look at green belt being beginner, being advanced, and then blue is kind of intermediate, and then red is more advanced, and then black belt, obviously expert level courses. Again, these belt programs, what it's designed to do is to get folks really motivated, incentivized. By completing a belt, they get recognized for it. You can get rewards or recognition, and it gets them moving along these different belts and programs. And they can, choose however they want. So we have a belt track for Java programming. We have a belt track for C++. It's basically a way to engage developers to take the training and go through the part training that they need. And for Team, there's a companion tool that comes along with the Team Professor courses. So it's a very comprehensive kind of knowledge base of different vulnerabilities that developers can use to fix problems and use as guidance to fix those problems, all different coding languages. There's 2,500 articles and checklists on how to do and how to fix these different vulnerabilities that they may encounter as they're trying to create secure code. We also have different plugins for two of the most popular scanning tools, Fortify, HP, and Checkmarks. So those plugins are just specific to those specific scanning tools, where a team mentor will give you more enhanced remediation guidance that those scanning tools line when they're scanning code that they're trying to find vulnerabilities. And then control hackathons, as I mentioned before, highly interactive, really more of a game to train developers and IT staff. We have a lot of big corporate clients in the States like Amazon and Nike who use this hackathon to train their group of developers. And in hackathon, you can either do it as a one-day event or two-day event. You can hire Security Innovation to go out and conduct a hackathon, or we can also sell it as a standalone product where you can run your own hackathon and you kind of rent the games for a period of time and kind of run your own hackathon. As I mentioned before, we did a hackathon to introduce it to the marketplace with eSpin in Malaysia earlier this year. Really successful. And we have two types of hackathon. We have the web application hackathon, which is more offensive, where you try to hack and hack into a website. And we have the IT infrastructure hackathon, which is more defensive. So you're an IT group within a company trying to defend your website from hackers trying to hack it. So more of a defensive kind of hackathon model that's there, our reseller program. So here are all the different benefits that we give our resellers when they work with security innovation. And obviously, with our partners, where we work with distribution like eSpin, we work through our distributor. So you would be able to source our solution through eSpin. You'd be able to get pricing through eSpin. You'd be able to get support through eSpin. But here's some other kind of added opportunities that we give to partners. So we have a portal and program for sellers, and in our partner portal, it's password protected, exclusive for partners, and basically it has a library, a pretty vast library of all our different resource guides, collateral, tip sheets, data sheets, white papers. It's about anything you can think of. It's also a way where we also work with eSpin, so they register opportunities that they work with resellers so that we have an idea of what opportunities you resellers are working on, and then we can work with eSpin as far as making sure that we are aware we can work and allocate resources if we have to help you with that opportunity. Assign leads directly to our partners internationally. So we don't have a direct sales force. So all of our resellers in Asia, in Europe, Latin America, anybody that comes to our security innovation website, anybody that downloads a white paper, those are all leads that we give back to our partners to follow up on. And we're really, we do a really, we consistently do that, and work through our channel partners on all leads we get. We try to create different lead generation programs, or what we call campaigns in a box. So some examples of these, for example, are, in the United States, we have National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Usually that's in October, and we try to package together different assets like blogs, blog entries, data sheets, email campaigns, and we give those out to our partners. In Europe, for example, there's a big initiative on data privacy that the European Union is trying to launch. It's called GDPR. So we're creating campaigns and different tools and assets for our partners for them to be able to use. I mentioned before deal registration. So any opportunities you're working on, Vincent works with us closely and works on our portal and registers deals consistently with us. And so we encourage our partners to register deals so that we can be aware of what opportunities a specific partner is working with, and try to mitigate or try to cancel any channel conflict that might arise. We also offer a 7-day trial version. So let's say you're working with a prospect and you would like them to evaluate the courses for 7 days. We can set that very, very easily. You would basically just let eSpin know that here's all we typically need is just a name and an email address, and then you can create these 7-day evals, and it's a great opportunity for them to really get a good understanding of what the courses are, what the content is, and get a good understanding of what the training's about. Also, more than happy to support partners with customer sales calls. So many times it can be challenging with the time zone difference. That's why we work, we rely a lot on our partner like eSpin to be able to provide support. But we're also more than happy to, if you have a customer and the demo from our support team, we try to schedule those product demo calls so that we can work with you to try to win and close the business. We also try to, as much as we can, do a technical knowledge transfer and best practices. So we create newsletters and programs for our partners and share a lot of industry-wide kind of information on security, on application security that you can then take to your customers as you're having discussions with them. We have a lot of how to sell videos and documents in terms of ways to help our partners sell the solution, customer case studies as well, and then we also do a lot of post-sales support. We have a customer care program where we can actually have a customer care manager work with our partners to provide best practices for the customers on how to roll out a lot of the security training that they want to do, and what are the best ways to do it, what are the best incentives to let customers know how their users can take the training. And as I mentioned before on our partner poll, we have a lot of white papers, training webinars, videos, and marketing supports, as well as email templates that you can access and use to try to help you sell the solution. This is just kind of the value proposition for you as a reseller. So kind of get it into two categories. As far as the sales strategy, we don't have a direct sales force in Asia Pacific. So we rely 100% on our channel partners to help us sell our solution. We have a solid price strategy. So we don't publish any of our pricing on our website. We don't have a published price list. Typically, how we do it is we provide prices to our partners. In this case, Eastman would have pricing for you, and then we don't dictate on what that pricing is. Basically, you get your what the price would be to you, and then you would go out and price it to your customer. So that's really it's a really advantageous way to sell to the channel, right? So you don't have to worry about having to compete on price, because there are a lot of situations where you might be providing our solution as part of a package to your customers, and so you don't want to have to rely on a published price list. And so you have a lot of freedom or leeway on how you want to price to your customers. It's a fairly short sales cycle because it's not a very technical tool in terms of it's pretty straightforward. It's training. I think what the important piece is how you sell it or how you go to market. And you're not really selling training, but you're selling to your customers the ability to be able to create and develop applications or software in a secure way so that it doesn't cost a lot of money to have to fix problems later down that life cycle of the software development life cycle. There are long revenue streams because it's a subscription. It's a subscription product, so every year, a customer renews to get access to the course content. So it's always a recurring kind of revenue stream that you can count on. It's a target audience in terms of, we work with all industries, so banking, financial industries, manufacturing, retail, technology, healthcare. We pretty much, it's a very horizontal market that you reach, getting very many different verticals. Opportunity too, because you can start wide with our security awareness if you're trying to train everybody within an organization, and then you can kind of go more technical with certain companies, manufacturing companies, and training their developers. And so what's really great is the topic itself is so prevalent today. Every single day in the news, we're always hearing more and more about these different hacking situations and these different incidents that happen because folks are just not trained properly or aren't able to fend off, phishing attacks or social engineering schemes that folks constantly devising and coming up with. And so it's a great opportunity to get to different accounts in a very hot topic kind of environment. As far as the customer strategy, you're pretty much in full control of your customer in terms of the pricing, in terms of how you sell to the customer, and it's a good way to add value. So if you already offer a portfolio in security, you may be offering a lot of security services that you're providing to your customer. Here's just another way to add value by providing training to them. It's a great way to a great economical way to provide training, because you don't have to rely on, trying to train a whole big group of people in one place at one time, but you can instead train, through multiple areas, multiple regions, and it's much more flexible in that way. And we also do offer white label and custom branding. So let's say you wanted to offer our training, but you wanted it to be under your company name, your company logo, and wanted them to experience the training as it was coming from you, then can certainly work. We have the ability to brand the learning management system and the courses so that the look and feels coming from your organization. That's an option that we can offer you as well. Just some of the benefits capsulized here in this slide. So you can differentiate and accelerate yourself from your competitors by offering security training. There aren't a lot of companies out there that offer the depth and breadth of content that we have, and I can certainly work with Vincent to providing you with our course catalog and the different courses that are available, as far as so you can get a better feel of what content that we have available. Retention is also so you have an ability to provide real strategic and business value to your customers. And through their cybersecurity awareness program. A lot of these companies are more and more in tune of the necessity to train their employees in cybersecurity awareness. And you can be on the front line as a reseller of our solutions, providing that value to your customers. You have the ability to upsell and cross-sell. So, you can develop your customers while expanding to new customer accounts and increasing your revenue streams through solution. So start them out with security awareness and then upsell them into different packages. We do offer instructor-led training courses as well, hackathons. So there's a variety of courses and a variety of ways you can offer them the training that they need. And then just the credibility, the fact that, we're well known in terms of being the Gartner Magic Quadrant as a leader in application security and cybersecurity awareness. So you can offer your customers peace of mind that they're dealing with a company that's been in the business for quite a long time and has a vast volume of content that you can provide to them. The thing is, we have these reseller starter kits that we can definitely provide to you. And those can include a trial so that you can get a better understanding of our security awareness training, a login to our partner portal, as well as a starter pack with data sheets, white papers, and frequently asked questions. So I would say the best thing to do would be to get, after this webinar, if you want to get more information, connect with Vincent, connect with the eSpin team, your account manager at eSpin, and they can work with me to get all this over to you. So you have kind of a starter kit or an ability to understand more about the solutions, have an evaluation or a demo of the solution, log into our partner portal, and then, we can work with eSpin to provide all this to you.
My name is Steve. I'm from Parasoft, working with eSpin. So first of all, I'd like to thank eSpin Vincent for organizing the event. So we've got to talk about how the solution can help you and your customer in preparing for the IoT revolution.
Very much for joining me today, and thank you very much to Vincent at eSpin for organising this and for taking the time out to listen to this presentation. I hope that interesting, and that you can see the potential for relationships and working together. So I was very lucky to meet Vincent, and he's a key partner for us in the Southeast and China region. Really get the benefit of eSpin's experience and reputation. It's an honor to be presenting alongside Parasoft, Acunetix, and Security Innovation today, and becoming part of eSpin's portfolio of IT security network vulnerability management products. A really great move for us. So we the Southeast Asia and China region as very valuable. It's very mobile first part of the world. And of course, that means there's going to be new opportunities to sell in automated mobile app security testing products like security. It's a little background statistic. In 62% of the population in Asia Pacific are using devices. That's 500 million people. We're expecting this to grow at an exponential rate of 600 million more people by 2020. And as people's lives become more device and app-centric, there's an increased need and expectation that these apps are secure, and they'll need to protect the reputation of the companies who make them and their users' personal data. Just information on the mobile application security market. At the moment in 2017, it's worth $900 million, and this is expected to grow to $2.5 billion. And we're really just going to see an exponential growth in mobile and also the use of applications. And in the local market, Android is one of the most popular platforms. And as you know, it's also one of the most problematic from a security perspective. This is in part related to the number of device manufacturers and also the carriers who install their own software. Get hard to secure from both malware and applicable vulnerabilities. With eSpin, we're really focusing on gaining market share, and we're looking into military, government, and consumer spaces. Take a of vulnerability management, and compliance management, and security management at ethical level. And we give companies the answer to the question, secure. So I'm just going to tell you a bit about the background of myself and our CEO. So on the right you can see me, Marcus. I worked in development for a number of years, selling to large companies, persuading them to work with us. And one of the things that I saw with Martin, who was running a development agency at the time, was that mobile apps are generally secure, and we saw an opportunity here either in the console space, but we decided to move into a product space. So dedicated tool available mobile. So we've been working in mobile security for a number of years, and down here we'll see some of the companies we've worked with. Let's have a look more at the problem. It seems like a bit of a contradiction. So there's research that shows that of the trade apps, 97% of the iOS ones have been hacked, 80% of the Android ones have been hacked. Multiple figures available in the store as well. So what is happening? Why do we need to secure their mobile apps, and how are they so vulnerable? One problem is that mobile software has very high frequency release cycles. For a major competitive company in this space, you our products and making a better experience for the users all the time. So you're going to be focused on pushing new code every week, sometimes even every day. And that means you don't have time to proper penetration testing. Traditional penetration testing anywhere between a week or 2 weeks. It's very expensive, costs upwards of $1,000 a day. So these developers are much more focused on developing user interface and user experience features instead of making secure code. Consequences of this are quite clear. See that per instant at a large company, there's a cost of $429,000 per instant, and of a mobile data breach, it's going to be $26.4 million, and that's for both reputational damage, the cost of securing a breach, and the losses when your customers see that you've been hacked. I just want to have a look at some of our to help understand who we're to and how we use our product. So what is CodifiedSecurity is an automated mobile security testing tool. It looks at mobile app binary files and find vulnerabilities. So it's very important that most companies for source code, like giving away their source code, there are massive third-party issues. It's often hard to find people who are willing to give it to third parties. And what our product allows you to do is to fix issues. So instead of push it to the App Store and someone like me coming along and telling you that they found problems in it, you be as secure as possible, release it. We're kind of quite an interesting new trend, which is DevOps, and so developer operations looks at kind of automating as much of the build process as possible, making it as efficient as possible, able to integrate into people's plans for a secure development. The very important features, I think, sellers to know is that there's installation required. It's low touch integration, and there's really no specialist knowledge at all needed to run and operate it. We've made a product that's very simple and is able to use it from a developer to a security tester to a product manager. Even the CEO could use it if they wanted to. I'm going to give you a quick demo of our product so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the typical onboarding for a first-time user. You see here that the first choice you have to make is what type of app do I want to test? I want to test an iOS app or an Android app. So we have support for native, and that includes Swift as well, native Android built in Java, and also, as I mentioned earlier, Xamarin uses C# code that compiles native libraries. They're quite an interesting company. They were acquired by Microsoft last year. Increasingly popular with enterprise companies to build cross-platform apps. For this demo, I'll test an Android app. In addition to hundreds of vulnerabilities we test for, we look at specific rule sets such as PS, relates to anyone who processes card payment details, which is a health regulation in the States that aims to protect people's personal information. PR, which is a piece of regulation coming in next into the European Union, which is going to make it very problematic if companies allow their data to be compromised. Mobile Top 10, which a public standard for securing. And we have Overwatch. So Overwatch is Codified Security's internal research unit, and we look at the CVE list, so Android security update each month, and we did our existing rules to help keep you secure against new threats coming in. Essentially, you've got to choose how to upload your app. So you could connect to a base distribution platform, Apple, Google Play developers, which you have support going for, or even APK, which is what we're here to find. As the app has been uploaded to our client platform, we're testing each line of code for issues and vulnerabilities that would be a problem. So you'll see here that it's tested as scanning. Next step is something called issue verification. So the problems of running a SOC analyzer is there's a very high false positive rate. False positives lead people to blame, and also if you're trying to convince your developer their code is not secure and raise a false positive, they'll discount the rest of what you say. So the initial testing, that into verification. One security researchers will then results and remove anything that we think is a false positive. If we need more information about the application's context, we'll contact with the client, try and understand what they're doing. That process takes one business day, and so on business day, the app is verified and you get results of this. So you've got very basic information about the app, such as the app package name, version, the operating systems it's targeting, testing, and then you've got a traffic light system here showing what we found. So we found 6 critical vulnerabilities, 8 and 9 warnings. Let's just have a look at some results. For example, you can see that the app is using HTTP web addresses flagged as a PCI and AOS issues. You know, if you've got standards says here to you, this one is a problem. Why fix it? The app is using HTTP web addresses, it's possible for request content to be intercepted. It's a really nasty vulnerability. And then how you can fix this in your code, enable self-supporting servers, and change all URLs to include HTTPS. Remember compliance problems you're encountering, and the explain of code and file where it was found. So if you're working as part of a security team or you're a developer, you've now got immediate actionable information. So you can say, I can go and change this in my code. I know where to find it. I've got all the instances here, and I know that all this information is correct because CodifiedSecurity is quality control. Another issue, there may be lots of data in these files. You get information on why you need to fix it, change it, and also the PCI and OWASP compliance problems that this relates to. For example, a very secret key has been left in the code. A couple of other features. So you have all the results as a PDF, makes a share, and it's the same level of information just saw on the dashboard. The feature is so you can use product without going online. You can integrate it into your existing developer environment. You use your sort of structured JSON like this. Demo. So we've done with CodifiedSecurity's most security testing tool a very simple process to test and help secure a mobile app. Upload your app dashboard or via API you want it to be tested against, so you'll always be tested for a security vulnerabilities. You can test it for specific compliance issues, report on the vulnerabilities and compliance issues. Our team tests new vulnerabilities each month, and you can then test the app to secure and keep testing new builds. So instead of being secure at one point in time, like with a traditional penetration test, you have security. What's got from competitors in the market? As I said, got a low false positive rate. We really qualify our reports, and our security researchers really have requirement for source code. We can work from the binaries that are being put onto the Google Play Store or App Store or other third-party app stores, and really cuts out a lot of the traditional privacy objections. Your apps built in Swift, Java, and Xamarin. With older platforms such as PhoneGap and Cordova, we support those because those are web technologies. We're focused on technologies people are going to be using in the next 5 years. So we also have plans to add support for example, React Native, which you might have heard of, and also Unity. To up to date on React, this is really critical. People are finding new vulnerabilities or vulnerabilities that haven't been fixed all the time, and this creates massive problems for people who want to keep their products secure. Because you can create it, make your process, you to leave your development environment to use it. And really importantly, it is very easy to use, as I just showed you in that demo. All you need is access to the file, and then we'll take care of the rest of it. Opportunities for resellers. This is a product where it's very easy to show proof that's going to be delivered to your client, and also to create client demand. What you need to do is who's willing to have one of the apps tested with vulnerabilities. We find problems with that app, then you're in a fantastic position to substances to them. So it's going to be a fantastic complement to your existing portfolio of network and IT vulnerability services. So an existing relationship with who trusts you, you'll be able to, we've got this fantastic new product for that security testing. It's a plug and play solution, so the integration, no long setup time, and training required. So clients that you should really be looking at to maximize potential profits from selling this product. I think it's really best to start by leveraging existing client relations. That will allow you to get cases which you can then use to drum up further business. And you really want to be going for clients who have high volume needs. So either people have to do very frequent testing, or lots of apps. And I'll show you how that works in these examples below. So any government agency that is making most of their clients, they need to test that page, make sure it's secure, make sure they're not going to compromise their client's reputation and their client's users' data. We're doing very high frequency release processes, actually building a lot of apps. In that case, they're very good for a single use license. Companies that need to secure their apps in between penetration tests. So we're not saying that this product is a replacement for penetration testing. It's more of a complement to IoT activities. So, for example, companies need to secure apps in between penetration tests. So a company that has 10, 50, even 100 apps, they're going to have a large requirement, large track value potential. The target clients are quality assurance companies. So mobile companies that do functionality and mobility testing want to add to their existing portfolio of services a new service that will be security testing, and this makes it really easy for them. They don't have to do anything apart from the API or get one of their guys to log on to online dashboard. We can then white label reports for them if necessary. Penetration testers really love this product. Penetration testers will often spend a lot of time doing code review and static analysis, and this cuts out the time they're going to spend doing that, and means that they can focus on complex parts of their job, such as dynamic and security testing. So how do you sell this product? How do you sell codified security? Focus on mobile apps with data that is critical to companies or their users. So when personal data, just things like social security IDs, health, personal data, but obviously any related to your personal banking or your company's banking, and then they might be considered sensitive. So any that perhaps sensitive corporate information are these secure or risk an embarrassing incident for your company if your mobile gets hacked. So the first step. The second is to understand what are the existing mobile security testing measures in place. The easiest way to answer that question is to run your own POC and see if their apps are secure. And then not whatever they're doing here is kind of into question. And it's an opportunity for you to offer this automated mobile app security testing product and say it's going to be a supplement to what you're doing already. It's going to help you get more secure. You can frequently secure against new threats. So the point would be to focus on big consumer-facing companies with mobile app releases. Be releasing, 2 times per month. I'm not going to have time to do battery penetration tests, and so this product is perfect to help before you use it and get some fixes in. Really, I think it meets all of those needs and is going to help people keep that secure. And so the key thing, I think, is to demonstrate value by testing people's apps, showing them where they're going wrong, and then saying, well, what license do you need? How many apps do you have? How much testing we in the future?
any companies which have grown to a point where cybersecurity is a limited concern, because let's face it, in reality, SMEs are as vulnerable to cybersecurity attacks as any sort of large enterprise. I'm sure people in this audience here and now have had experiences where their own attempts at being their own sites. That being said, it's usually a consideration that larger companies tend to take on, because smaller businesses are usually concerned with elsewhere. That's what we found, at least. Even we were built specifically for SMEs, the product basically grew and expanded to a point where we capture a really good portion of Fortune 100 and 500 and 1,000 customers around the world. So Acunetix, we've basically got two different product and service offerings. So we've got one on-premise product and we've got one cloud offering. Functionality-wise, they're exactly the same thing. They just work in different ways from a licensing perspective. But that's something which we'll talk about later. As far as the product goes, we test for over 3,000 different vulnerabilities, which is pretty great. We're constantly innovating and constantly looking for ways to improve the product. In fact, last November, we've just launched version 11, which includes the vulnerability management suite, where we've launched everything to be run in a web-based console, so that it's much lighter from a hardware perspective. And also launched grey box scanning, which is a bit of hybrid of web vulnerability assessment scanning. So there are two main streams in this section. So you've got black box, you've got white box, and you've got grey box, which is basically a hybrid. Grey box is something that we've pioneered, and we're expanding out across different languages as we go. Acunetix basically works in a four-step process. If you want to break it down as far as an end-to-end process goes, four-step process. The first one is the scanning process. This includes crawling, which basically entails creating a directory of a website. So the scanner will essentially penetrate the URL of a site and figure out all the different directories that are connected to the site, and that's a map. Once that map is created, the actual scan is done over some time. The scan time can vary depending on the kind of site you're trying to scan. If you're trying to scan, let's say, a 5-page website, it will take 20 minutes. If you're going to scan Alibaba.com, it's going to take a few days. So it's very situation dependent. On average, we state that 4 to 5 hours is the typical scan time required to fully scan a site. Once that's done, you can generate a whole plethora of different kinds of reports, including different kinds of compliance reports, such as PCI DSS, which I'm sure everyone is familiar for the payment cards industry, the ISO 27001, HIPAA, so on and so forth. All is obviously there. I'm sure everyone in the audience is quite BERSEC friendly, so OWASP shouldn't be a new term to anyone. Obviously, that's something which we build our product on very closely with. And then you've got other kinds of reports, management reports, which are very high level, so something show like a C-level manager, like a CTO or a CIO or a CSO. Then you've got a dev report, which is something more specific for the developer with all the nits and bits that it needs to remedy any vulnerability that's found. We've newly integrated, so we've got an issue tracker, which is basically once the scan is complete, all of the vulnerabilities found can be actively exported into Atlassian Jira or Hub or MTFS. This is basically once the vulnerabilities have been remedied and the developers have gone in and they've made their fixes, so on and so forth, and they would come back into Acunetix, mark those vulnerabilities as fixed, and they can run the process or they can re-enable the process. Calling is something which is also available. So basically, once the initial first remedy has taken place, the user can then set something up on a autonomous basis to see to all the vulnerability requirements. I'm going to try and keep this very short. I know it's late. I know everyone's had a really long day. I apologize for being the last guy up here. Bear with me, though. It will be worth your time. So this is the infrastructure mapping I was talking about earlier. We support basically every single development language known to man, such as HTML5, JSON, Angular, Ember, so on and so forth. The only one we don't support, admittedly, is Flash. Why? Because pretty much nobody uses Flash. It's a dead piece of technology. And the little fun fact is Acunetix can also be used to scan Ajax, which is really cool, and WL and SOAP. So any sort of web services or anything like that can also be scanned via Acunetix. So if you've got clients who have big ERP rollouts, they've always got a portal linked to that route. That portal runs on a web service. So that's something that can be used to monitor, which is another flagship piece of tech, which is basically something that listens in the background for any sort of vulnerabilities which take place. The simplest way I found to explain Acumonitor is a hacker hacks into a site, places some sort of hack, like the bomb, to be really, really simple. In reality, it's more like an out-of-band SQL injection, but it's called the bomb, and they time that bomb to go off in 2 weeks. So, Acumonitor is basically there is a thing for bomb like that to go off, and once it does go off, an email will be automatically sent to the admin or the person who's in charge of SEC at the company, and they will be immediately notified. So they've got it. How it works from end-to-end process. You've got Acunetix working to the cross-site scripting. Acusensor is the gray box scan innovation I was talking about earlier. What it basically does is, it grabs Acunetix's black box scanning tech, which the black box scanning would be running code dynamically after the code has been executed. Static would be running scan on the base code before that code has been executed. And gray box would be running a black box scan, so running a scan on the dynamically generated code and finding that vulnerability with base code, which you can basically, once a vulnerability is found, Acusensor will determine the exact line of code which the vulnerability is caused, which can be really useful for a client. Imagine you've got an HTML page of 1,500 lines of code, and you find 300 vulnerabilities on on one page. Knowing exactly where those lines of code are can make the process a whole lot faster and a whole lot less painless, which music to any customer's ears. Success of any business. As a rule of thumb, I mean, Acunetix prices are start from as cheap as $345 and go all the way up to $500,000, and this is USD. We've on-premise licenses, which come in a perpetual and subscription favor, and then we've got the cloud offering, which I mentioned earlier.